Cara. Hi, guys.
You
How
know
you
it.
doing? Sweet
Good.
Subversives. Yay!
No longer pooping in a bucket.
Yes, I mean, you actually became kind of like the cat that I'm looking at your shirt right now, and
Yes.
it's like my cat and I talk
Talk
shit
shit
about
about
you.
you.
I like that. Take a look at my butt.
Yes, that's totally this is me and Mabel.
That is. I mean, Mabel is your spirit animal, but she's also like awesome and like you're awesome and like kind of like she lets you know how she feels.
Yes, she does. And she almost got a bird today.
She almost got a bird on the deck.
Yeah.
Ooh. What would she
Yeah.
do? She would probably eat it.
Yes, she would.
I have this feeling she'd bring it up to you and it'd still be alive and she'd be like crunched to show you like, hey, this is how you do it.
Probably.
And you go, I'm not doing
This
that.
is
Mabel.
how we do it.
And you're just like, Mabel, thanks. No. I'd be crying. It's like any cat that's tried to bring me a baby bunny on the farm, and I was just like, no, tears.
Yes.
She's just like, but this is the circle of life.
But she's feeling pretty good about herself at the moment. I think she was actually able to touch the bird, so
damn, good for her.
She's pretty full of herself.
Well, sometimes us old broads gotta prove that we still got tricks, It's all worth it. Oh, and
she does.
And I see we having drinks. I'm actually having a beer today. Coors Light, because Colorado beer, and it's got a cool can. It changes colors, so I was like, that's worth it. But in a couple weeks, we're going to be in Colorado, so
the can changes colors.
It does. It shows you it's cold. Let me go grab it quick. I'm going to show you an example. Okay, here.
I did not know this. I mean, like, first of all, I'm not sure I consider Coors Light actual beer rather than water, but
it is kind of water beer. Okay, this is a warm can.
Okay,
it's kind of bluish. It's grayish. Blue.
Yeah.
This is a cold can, darker blue, and so the color of the stuff on the can changes color as it gets colder. It's weird, but it shows you it's cold enough to drink. Although it's not that different, like you look at them, you see it's like just slightly different.
Yeah,
you're not like, I gotta throw this beer away.
It is color changing though.
And the word summer, you can see it on one, but hardly on the other.
Oh,
so yeah, so you can see there's a color change. It's kind of amazing. I'm just gonna leave these here.
There is a color change. So you're having beer.
Yes.
I'm having sparkling sake.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Where did you get that?
It is pretty amazing. So it's called Social.
Ooh.
And this is hibiscus cucumber sparkling sake.
Yummy.
And it's gluten-free, so I don't have to worry.
Perfect.
It's organic, if that matters to you for your liquor. And for a can of it, it's 88 calories. It's pretty light on the alcohol. It's just 4%. So it's not like a real strong,
like a light beer, but even less calories. So, and I like sake, so that would be a really good thing.
And it is a little different. Like, and you can taste, like, I don't taste so much the hibiscus. I taste a lot of the cucumber, and you can smell a lot of the cucumber. But it is very tasty.
You could make like a little cocktail out of that and have like some good garnishes and stuff.
And there's like 4 different flavors of it. One is like a rose something. I can't remember all the flavors, but the other one that I have is a pink grapefruit ginger.
Oh,
which is very good. I think they're just kind of refreshing. They're lighter.
I think that's perfect. I'm trying to phase into occasional alcohol right now because I'm training for the wedding, so that way like I don't have a shit show, chugging along. Not have like one beer and I'm like, bleh.
Let me like, oh, There's Heather.
Heather's done after one.
Heather's sleeping in the corner.
I might be like holding on to my drink. Yeah, I can do it. I'm a big girl now.
I'm trying to be kind to my liver.
Yes.
After FreedomFest.
Did they give you a lot of alcohol there? Are you saying?
Well, since I went camping and last week showed off my bar, right?
Oh yeah, I love that.
And so I was able to take that bar into my room. And so people pre-gamed in my room.
Of course they did.
And brought more alcohol. And, and then when we were out, people are buying you drinks, and there's different groups are having different parties and different social events throughout the thing. Like the Libertarian Party of South Dakota had a really nice event at a local bar, which we packed that bar. It had really good attendance. They did some good fundraising there, and you kind of got the local flavor.
Cool.
And people were bringing like South Dakota beer to some of the events, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. And like I party pooped because I'm just like, listen, guys, we got a few more days to go. Maybe we should sleep. And everyone else was like, nah.
No.
Yeah. So they stayed out super, super late.
Yeah.
And like well into the morning late. But I party pooped. Like between 10 o'clock and midnight is when I hit bed. I was like,
well, and you're in a different time zone. Well, wait, is it in a different time zone?
Yeah, it's mountain.
Yeah. So once you get to mountain time, it gets like a little bit, like you got to adjust anyway. So yeah, I just think
that, and I'm like, I can't do that.
No, right? I
honestly,
we've always been early night people.
Yeah.
We party in the afternoon.
Right.
That's how we roll. But then it's about 9 or 10. We're like, oh, done. Good night, everybody. And they're like, what? It's just getting started. I'm like, no, we just got started at like noon, and we've been till now. And that's how you not get hungover. You stop when you know you're getting tired.
I'm not going to exactly say I did that, but I mean, there were things I wanted to do in the morning. So this was a neat event. I've never been to FreedomFest before. In previous years, it leaned more pseudo-liberty GOP, maybe, or at least that is what I heard by reputation, and that could be wrong.
I wondered about it.
It was far more libertarian. And that was neat. And there was like a much larger true libertarian presence there, which was nice. But there were things jam-packed, and it was 3,000 attendees, which they said was their highest attendance ever. Usually it's in Las Vegas. It'll be in Las Vegas next year, I think. I think in the odd years. Yeah, they'll alternate it, but they'll have it in different places, not just South Dakota.
That's cool though.
But they had really good attendance in South Dakota. But it was just packed with things to do from early in the morning until late in the evening.
Wow.
And, they have a trade show floor, but they also have speakers and panels and all kinds of things going on. And then at the same time, going the entire time, they have a film festival, which is all of these films with like some type of liberty theme to them.
That's awesome.
And I could have easily just gone to the film festival the entire time, and I would have considered it great.
I kind of wish that was a separate thing, because then I would just totally do a movie festival with liberty stuff.
It was great, and one of them was so incredible that I talked to the director and the producers, and the film is called The Unseen.
Awesome.
And I talked to them and said, we have to bring this to Minnesota. Like, people have to see this movie and not just stream it online. This is something people need to experience in a theater together. This is because that's in a different viewing feel and vibe and experience to do that.
I agree.
That film, I mean, I was a weepy mess during it. It's only 30 minutes long. It's a
What's it about?
documentary.
Oh, yeah, documentary.
Yeah, so it's a documentary, and it's about 4 different businesses and business owners in California
Oh,
during
yeah.
the lockdowns and how that affected them and their employees. Like the challenges that they were facing, and several of them decided that they had no choice. They had to reopen anyway, and they had to do so against orders. And then they had to go up against some pretty draconian state forces on this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you
California.
can't even believe it. Like this one gentleman, he owns a restaurant, and they serve, traditional Israeli dishes that he grew up on. And his parents were immigrants, like the total immigrant story of coming over with no money and all that kind of stuff. And he and his family, because he wanted to do a restaurant, and it took him 2 years to convert this space to a restaurant. I mean, they literally did everything themselves, including like build the countertops. I mean, just
Mm,
everything.
all part
And
of
it
them.
wasn't long after they opened that the lockdowns happened.
Oh, shit.
But they're talking about, and what's going on in their personal lives too, because this one business owner, that her and her husband have been doing this business for like, a restaurant for like 30 years. While all this is happening, their house burned down. I mean, it's just
Of all the things.
like
No.
all of this stuff happening in this, and you're watching it and you're going, oh my God, I forgot about that crazy stuff. Oh my God, I forgot that happened. Oh God, that's right. They were doing that. And it was literally, it was traumatizing watching it, because you felt so bad for them and the people who are in it, and frustrated and angry, and you were re-experiencing what you went through as well last year. And so yeah, I like, by the end of it, I'm a weepy mess, and so were other people. I mean, it was
Oh.
like you
People need
can't
to see
even.
that. I would love to get to see that in a theater.
Yeah. And and then like even afterwards, when because I get back to the conference area, and they're like, oh, what did you do? And I said, well, I saw this film. And even just trying to like say 2 sentences about it, like
Tears.
I was just wrecked. I was wrecked for the day,
Oh my
you
God.
know and so having something like that, and they call it the unseen, because not only were these persons supposed to suffer, they were supposed to suffer silently, and they were supposed to suffer out of sight, because people
Oh.
just didn't want to hear about it. They were so angry and mean about it. And so you look at that type of medium that can convey an experience and an idea in a way that like a written word can't, or a news story can't, or and we need to get that out across the country. Like everyone needs to see it. Everyone needs to see it.
I would love to have a showing in our state. I wonder if we can invite the filmmakers to come to Minnesota and
Yeah.
visit
So
with them.
I talked to the director and the producers, and we're going to make it happen.
Yes.
It is coming to Minnesota. This is going to happen. And
Oh,
it's
yes.
going to happen in a movie theater. We're going to screen it in a movie theater.
That's
And
awesome.
we're going to see what we can do for other states too, and
Yeah.
get this film out.
People need to see it. They need to understand how this wrecked people's lives.
Yeah.
I mean,
And what people went through day after day after day after day, with not only no help, but people just being so angry and uncaring towards them.
so there's no empathy.
None.
I
None.
mean, like you shared this the other day, and I don't know if you were going to share it in the show, but like that restaurant in Austin that we know, and they posted that how
Yeah.
mean patrons were being to the customers were being to their staff, to them, because things were taking a while longer because they had hardly anybody working there.
Yeah.
And they were out of some of the things, and there was so many reasons that things aren't perfect right now.
Right.
But there's no empathy.
No, there's not. There still isn't. And the businesses that survived are trying to claw their way back.
Yeah.
And they are years in debt. Like many of these business owners, they wiped out all of their retirement and went in hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And it's going to take them years to crawl out. And now you have labor shortages, right? It's very difficult. But you're also having product shortages now.
Everything is short.
And so even if you have customers, even if you have staff, you may not have product.
Yeah. Can you make stuff? Can you, like, are there going to be napkins? Because, like, paper is short. I mean, my husband was talking about that today. Meat. Like, it's going to be not right. Even if, like, they figure out a way to make this all go away, it's not going to be right for years.
No, it's not. And that's why I have concerns over, over the rhetoric that is being just cranked up now. Right. And you can see every day they're cranking it higher and higher again, that we're looking at a lot more government intervention that's going to be happening. We're going to be looking at a renewal of mandates.
Yep.
And I don't know how these businesses make it. I don't know how.
I don't think it's going to be possible for a lot of them.
I don't know how people have jobs.
Unless there's some sort of weird government bailout. But even that's not going to stop the shortages. Like, how can you have a business if you don't have stuff?
And there can't be a bailout anymore because we're already we printed all this money, right? Printed all this money to do all these bailouts. And now what we're seeing from that is we are seeing hyperinflation. We are in hyperinflation. We're not going to see it. We're in it. Like, we're in it. So look, like, we're looking at our city budget. We have a budget of like 46 million a year. That's our city budget. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and people are seeing that all over. So in our budget of that amount, we're looking at in the 2021 to 22 year, we're going to lose 1 million out of our budget because of inflation.
Yep. That makes sense.
1 million.
1 million
out of our budget.
And that's the beginning.
Road salt is up 24% over when we bought it last year. I mean, just things like that. So we're in hyperinflation.
We can't even.
No.
There's nothing we can even, like, we can't even protect ourselves against it. It's almost like we're going to be in communist Europe, where we'll have toilet paper lines, and you're like, oh, what's this line?
We already did that.
But I think it's going to be worse. Because you're like, oh, soap today. Cool. And then you buy soap for everyone you know, and then it's nothing else at the store.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, like, our recovery hasn't, like, everyone is like, okay, we're going to focus on recovery, and everyone's been very, like, focused on that. But we're seeing all these shortages of goods and services, and there's multiple reasons for them. We're seeing the effects of, government intervention, which hiccuped everything. And then you have, like, once you start yo-yoing supply chain, you really hose it. Looking at meat. Okay, well, when all of those pigs had to be, millions and millions and millions of pigs had to be killed and landfilled, and the pregnant sows given shots to abort last year. Remember that, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what's happening with meat shortages. Like, that's continuing. So we have all of these effects from government policy and supply chain. We have staffing shortages. We have products that are sitting in cargo containers for months.
Yeah.
They can't get it. Going into a store in my town, and I asked them, there's a lot of bare shelves, and this is a retail hard goods store. And they said, yeah, um, we've been trying to get shipments and they were really spotty. And we normally, like in a normal time, we get a shipment every week, right?
Right.
And they hadn't seen a shipment for 3 weeks straight, and they didn't know when they were going to get a shipment. They're like, we have nothing, we can't restock. Just a silly thing, but I was trying to find shoes, went to a bunch of different stores, and it would look like they had shoes. Like you see shoes displayed everywhere. But then when you went to get a size, there was the display shoe, but
That's
there was no
it.
sizes.
You're just like, why do you even have the display shoe if you don't have any sizes in it? I mean, can I
Because
just
they don't want it to appear as bare as it is. And when you go to grocery stores, you'll see they're doing the thing of putting one item, one item, one item, one item, and
yeah.
there's nothing behind them.
So at least they can pretend like, oh, we have some stock. One of them. Oh my God, Cara.
Yeah.
Ah.
So my thing is, so I have concerns
Yes.
that we're heading back into mandates. I mean, we're hearing that mask mandates are coming back.
I
Like
think they will. They
they're
will.
gonna bring them back. Hearing strongly that they're looking at vaccine mandates, and this is a no joke kind of thing. So Reuters just reported 2 hours ago
Yeah.
that the New York City bar formed a task force, and the task force is looking at how to write and design penalties for mandatory vaccination for all adults.
Oh, Jesus.
All adults.
Yeah.
And now this is the schedule they're on. They're meeting July 30th. They're following up immediately on August 2nd. So this is fast tracked.
Well, obviously that means they're getting ready to do it right away for their
Yes.
state by September, probably.
And when they come up with that, that's something that then other places, cities, states copy.
Yeah, because I mean, once you have, New York's got some of the best lawyers in the country, so yeah, we're gonna totally copy that.
And
It's the way it is.
states have been seeking legal opinions on, is it legal for us to do this? And they're getting the response back of, yes, we think it's legal for you to do that.
Or they find the people that say yes because they want it to be so.
Right. And then you have to challenge it in court to reverse it. And when you look at it, so if they have something like that, I mean, so say you don't mow your lawn. How does a city force you to mow your lawn? They fine you every day until you do it. So
And
those are some of the mechanisms that they can do and they can put in place. And I'm also concerned that we're going to be looking at reductions again in capacity, shutdowns, all of the crap that didn't work last year, all of the destructive, awful stuff that we saw last year.
Because it's fall? Is it like they let the people have some fun? We gave them a little nugget of fun for the summer, and now let's go back and taking away all their rights. Is this what it actually is becoming, or is it because there's so much Delta?
So, all right. So I think part of it is, there's more studies coming out because there's been enough time that you're starting to get information back. And one of the places that we're getting a lot of information back actually too is the UK and Israel.
Right.
UK because they have a lot of in-depth information.
Yeah. They've been doing a lot of studies too.
They have. And, so they know if a person, and they tie it to their record of, have they had COVID before? What shot did they have? When did they have it? How many times have they been to the ER? Because they have nationalized medicine, so they have that information in a database.
Which is helpful.
Israel is interesting because they were set up because they did only one type of vaccine, and they were given that one type of vaccine in agreement with the vaccine manufacturer that the country could be a study, right?
Oh,
Used
man.
as a study. Now, what the information that we're finding out from both places is that the vaccines that are out there, and yes, there's some variation between the vaccines, but they're calling it a breakthrough rate.
Right.
But the real word for it is a failure rate. Every vaccine has a failure rate, right?
Yeah,
Every single one.
that's normal.
Mumps, doesn't matter. They all have a failure rate, and that's just normal. It's just what that percentage is.
That's
It
right.
is looking like it is between 30 and 40% of a failure rate.
That's really high. That's
It
very
is
high.
very high.
So what does that mean next then?
And so people who are vaccinated, 60% would not get it, right?
Yeah.
But 40% or 30% can.
Ugh.
And they don't just get it. If they're ill, just like an unvaccinated person, they spread it.
Yeah. And that's what they're worried about, is the spreading.
And that's what is making them shit their pants right now, because all of this rhetoric ramping up happened right as these study results were being released. And when you look at who's dying of COVID right now, so looking at the Delta variant, it is not more deadly. It does maybe appear to spread more easily, but that's a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
But looking at the deaths that they are having in the UK, 1/3 of them are from fully vaccinated people, not partially, fully vaccinated persons.
That's the thing they need to be super worried about, is like, if that's the case, then it's a total, like, it's a failure. It's a real failure.
So can it help? Can it help? I mean, okay, so even if you have 60%, 70%, okay, that's still 60 or 70%. That's good, right? That's a positive thing. Yeah. And so for people who are elderly, people who are, have underlying health conditions, all that kind of stuff, yeah, absolutely. Really talk to your doctor about being vaccinated.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's paralleling along with this, and the reason why you're seeing more people saying they really don't want to, is for younger people. Yeah. There's really not a personal benefit to them to get vaccinated.
No.
It really doesn't change anything for them. A healthy young person, right? They're not obese. They don't have underlying health conditions. They're a younger person, right?
Yeah.
So if it's not a benefit for them, and the only reason why they're doing it is for possible benefit for other people, you have to look at the ethics of, does it harm them?
Yeah.
And even if it's rare that it harms them, is that ethical to ask people to take the chance that they will be harmed?
Yeah. I mean,
to possibly, maybe,
for older people, it makes more
someone
sense
else,
because, like, the chances of dying from it were higher. And so the risk was there. Oh.
Right. And so they are, we're hearing more and more about myocarditis. Yeah. And
that's a big thing.
It is a big thing. The younger you are, the higher your risk, it appears, for getting myocarditis as a result of the vaccine. Paralleling that, the younger you are and you get myocarditis, the more damage you can sustain. And this can be permanent damage. If it is not treated, in only about 10 to 20% of the cases does it resolve itself.
So this could lead to heart attacks and heart issues, and
it can lead to where you need a heart transplant. You can have permanently damaged heart muscle. You can die. And it doesn't mean immediate death. It can be years down the road that you eventually die from this type of heart disease. So
it's not a pleasant thing. No.
No, it isn't. But there is an emerging ethical track within medicine. Like, it used to be the thought that if you were going to ask someone to do something, you had to show that there was a benefit to them that outweighed the risk. And that was
Yeah.
individualized, right? You know, the doctor would talk one-on-one with their patient and look at that, because many
Weigh the
medications,
choices.
yeah, like, okay, say you need a blood thinner,
Yeah.
say you need aspirin.
Yeah.
All of it carries risk. It all does, right?
Everything
But you
does.
do that individualized assessment. There's a second ethical track now emerging in medicine, and that ethical track is if it can benefit the wider community, even if it harms the individual, as long as the percentage of individuals harmed is within a certain parameter, we're going to say that that's acceptable, that it's okay to harm a small number of people if it carries benefit for others.
It's like, where the hell did this come from?
And that's a big change in medical ethical thinking. But that is one of the dominant ethical philosophical tracks that is emerging from this pandemic and is gaining preeminence
It just
in a
shows
shockingly short period of time.
how they are disassociating people, individuals, with their medical choices. And I do think that that is a systemic problem, is that they're going to stop asking people like, oh, here are your choices. No, they're going to tell you, this is what we're going to do to you, and you will have no choice in your health care.
Right.
And that could be
So
across the board, not just with
the
vaccines.
mandates are because they are trying to get certain demographics that do not wish to get the vaccine because they personally will not receive a benefit from the vaccine forced to take that vaccine. And you know, when we look at this, our stance is what it always is. Medical decisions should be between you and your doctor
Not the
and no one
government.
else.
Do you think, Cara, that if this becomes, well, obviously, like the federal government's making people get vaccines, federal employees.
Yes.
States are looking at state employees.
Yes.
Will there be vaccine refugees moving to states that are not imposing this, or will all states impose it?
All states will not impose it. There's already several states that have flat out said they will not impose it. There are some states that have already passed laws that say we are not ever going to do a mask mandate again, and we are not going to allow businesses to do a vaccine mandate.
Oh, yeah.
So there are a few states that have done that. Do I think that there will be a sorting of people? Yeah, I do.
I do too.
I absolutely do think that. So, yeah.
I have this feeling that some states are going to have mass exodus out of their states because people will be like, nope, not going to do it, which might be great for the states that aren't going to require it.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, and I know we usually try to look on the bright side of things on Sweet Subversives, but there's also a time to have frank
Serious.
Conversations, because we do need to start speaking out about this. And, we get asked, well, what are the libertarian solutions to this? Well, there are libertarian solutions to this.
Yeah.
And not only are they more ethical, but they're more effective. I mean, if you want to control the spread of a respiratory illness, you can go the route of masks and have that whole debate, right? Or you can go the route of increasing air exchange and increasing the filtration system, whether that's in a business or a home, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Many businesses took on a lot of debt to do that on their own.
That's
because
right.
They care about themselves, they care about their employees, they care about their customers. And so they did really ramp up that air exchange rate, and they also changed to a different filtration system. And if you had to pick one, and I'll tell you, for most healthcare workers, right? If you were to ask them, you're going to go into a patient room who is infectious, would you rather have a very high rate of oxygen exchange, like air exchange?
Yes.
Or would you like to wear a t-shirt over your face?
They'd be like, the air exchange, please, because the t-shirt's gonna do hardly anything.
Right.
And unless you get like an
Exactly.
actual mask that blocks out everything. And those are hard to get, obviously.
Yeah,
But the t-shirt
exactly.
masks don't do it.
Right. So there are libertarian solutions, and
Yeah, there are.
they are better and they're more effective and they're more ethical. But you know, that's completely off the table. Have you even
Yeah.
heard people really talking about air
Option.
exchange or anything like that?
Yeah.
No, you haven't. You just hear arguments over masks, right? That's what everyone wants to argue about. And there's so many other areas as well where we could have chosen to do something more effective, but instead we picked to do something that would cause the most anger and upset and fighting, and
Yeah.
simultaneously also not be effective, and pick that path.
What I don't understand is we all know that how people feel about it, and everyone is really angry still, but it's coming up again, and we're
Yeah,
going to do the same thing again. Like,
we're going to do it
wouldn't
again.
this be a chance to try something different and go, let's see if this works this time? At least try it. Like, no, we're not going to even talk about it. Yeah, that's where I get pissed off too. And
Yeah.
I feel for like businesses. Like my husband and I were at a restaurant, and my husband's like, "Oh, it's over." I'm like, "It's not over." And he goes, "Look,
So
this
not over.
restaurant is by our house. They just put in a patio. Why would they do that?" Like hardly. I'm like, because when things shut down again, which they might, they need a place where people can eat. And he
Right.
thought it was a waste, but I'm like, I think it means they're smart because they see it coming.
Yeah.
And it will. So I feel for all the businesses that are going through this. I can't even imagine. I lost a friend this week, not like to death, but she moved out of the state because she lived
Yeah.
up in St. Paul, Minnesota, and she lived here since we went to, like, we worked in a library together a long time ago,
Yeah.
and I love her, and she's now moving to Arizona, and I'm just like, there's waves of change that are rippling, and
I've lost so many friends that have, I mean, not like you've lost them, but these are people that I would see and interact with and hang out with, and
all
they've
the
moved.
time. And they
They've
moved because
moved.
like our state is really intense. And I mean, I
Yeah.
feel for the people in California because it's really intense there in New York. But yeah, I don't know. I'm that's part of why I've been crabby this week is that I know it's coming again and I feel a little powerless. But
I know it.
I'm trying, like I'm trying to be positive for our show. I'm trying so hard, Cara. And it's there's not a silver lining in it. The only silver lining
No.
is we talk about like government is screwing things up and we all need to have a voice and maybe we can all come together in that.
Yeah, we need to get active, engaged, and involved, and we need to try to head off as much as we can before it happens, because as we saw last year, once it happens, you're stuck.
I don't
You're
want to
just
be
you're stuck.
stuck. Well, okay, I'm going to switch gears because I'm
Because otherwise, I'm going to cry.
yeah, me too. Um, hey, you went to Freedom Fest and you got to have a hot dog.
I did. So yeah. So in my continuing quest to have the state hot dog in each state and then rank them, I had the South Dakota dog. Spoiler alert, it was gross.
It was pretty gross looking.
It was
I'm,
pretty gross.
I'm trying to figure
So
out
yeah,
which
so
one it was.
we have my leaderboard of hot dogs.
I'm gonna bring that up if I can.
Um,
Okay.
so the South Dakota dog had, it was a buffalo meat hot dog, which that part was good. Then it had ranch dressing on it, which I thought would be good. And then it had like some onions and
Is
like
that the South
no,
Dakota dog? Nope.
nope. That'll be the
Where is it? I don't think I have a picture of it. Is it that one?
no.
I don't think I have
Back
it.
to the leaderboard.
Okay, we're gonna go to the leaderboard.
Yes. Okay, so that's the bottom one. So South Dakota is number 4. And then it had like some onions on it and maybe like a little green pepper or whatever. But it was disgusting. Like the ranch dressing on it, which I thought would be very good, was freaking gross. That was not a good flavor combination. So number 3 is that Detroit dog, mainly because the chili tasted like Alpo. It had like no spice, no flavor whatsoever. The Carolina dog was pretty good. That's like a chili dog with coleslaw. Liked it. It was like crispy fresh on top. You know, a little bit of spice to the chili. And then tied for number 1 still is that Chicago and Utah dog.
Those look really good. I love Chicago dogs.
Somewhat similar, but just a little different. And I'm happy because so far none of the dogs that I've had to eat have had ketchup on it, because I frickin' hate ketchup. I can guarantee you whatever one is going to be like a dog with ketchup on it is going to go to the bottom of my ranking like a frickin' rock. So bleh.
I wonder if there's a state that has that. Oh man. But the one thing about the South Dakota dog I was intrigued by is you said it was like a buffalo hot dog, right? Like made out of buffalo meat.
Yeah.
Or bison, whatever they call it. That sounded interesting. I just don't know
if the hot dog was good.
I wonder if you did like the bison hot dog and did it like a Carolina dog. Sounds like that would be really good with that. Like a little more gamey with
any other way would have been good. But that ranch dress, and it wasn't like the ranch dressing was gross either, but the ranch dressing on the dog, which I thought I would like, was just gross. It was gross.
No, it proves that ranch doesn't actually go on everything.
No, it doesn't, which is almost blasphemy for a Midwesterner to say.
I know. I'm kind of like, what? What am I saying?
So this weekend I head to Virginia and I'm going to have a Norfolk dog.
Oh, cool. So what's that all about?
That's that like skinny naked dog that you had the photo of.
Oh, I'm sorry. I put it down now. That was the skinny long ones.
So the interesting thing is, even though it's a Norfolk dog, it's tied to Minnesota in a weird way. So Hormel Foods made a particular type of dog, which is really thin and had a natural casing and had like a real chop bite to it.
Those are good dogs, yeah.
But real long, super skinny.
Okay.
And they only made them for Norfolk, Virginia.
Of all the places. Weird.
I know. Kind of weird. And then in 2019, they stopped making them and a local company started making them. Okay. And so they have Norfolk dogs once again. And so a Norfolk dog will have a spicy meat chili. And they do say it's pretty spicy. I'm wondering how spicy. We'll see. A particular type of mustard called Lynnhaven mustard.
Lynnhaven?
Onions. And then like a steamed bun.
Okay.
So I'm going to be going to Doug's Hot Dogs.
Ooh, yeah.
Trying to hit there for lunch on Saturday. I'm going to be zooming out, so I need partners in crime for this.
Yes.
And then I will be trying the Norfolk Virginia dog.
That sounds awesome. I love the fact that you're going to have hot dogs all around the country. How awesome is that going to be?
Yes, yes.
So it has like an originally Hormel connection, which is like our Minnesota thing. But I'm wondering if the new place, if they've changed the recipe in any way, or if it's a similar hot dog.
So they said they haven't, and Doug's has been around for, I think, since, 1934 or some shit like that. So they said they haven't, and that the company that made these dogs, people can't really tell the difference. They're like, it's a Norfolk dog. So
that's perfect. I can't wait to see that. You're going to have to like at least record it or live stream it so that way we can like live through that moment with you, because I adore these hot dog adventures that you're on. It's awesome, because I'm like, who would think of that? I'm like, I've had hot dogs in different parts of the country, but it's kind of fun to compare them.
It is. It definitely is.
And I
Yeah.
just wonder if every state has their own hot dog or if it's just like a couple states that are super into it. That's awesome. Yay!
I think every state has their dog.
Every state, every dog has their day. Every
Yep.
state has their
Every
hot
has a
dog.
dog.
I love it.
So I know, and we've gone long, but I want to make sure that we get your
My
tip.
thing. Oh, like this? Just the
Yes.
tip? Since we're talking about hot dogs?
Yes. Wieners.
Wieners. Wieners. Okay. So one of the things that we talk about is like how to like have awesome hair and be beautiful all the time in getting ready for weddings and stuff.
I
And
need this tip.
this is one of the things I've done, and I don't know if you're doing this,
Oh.
but this is a new brand I switched to. I'm trying this one. I do collagen peptides, and collagen's in your skin, right?
Yeah.
There a lot of people in the past have like tried doing like creams and stuff that they rub collagen in, and it doesn't absorb that way. You know, collagen
Right.
doesn't really. It's very big molecules and it won't absorb through your skin very easily. You can try, but it usually just makes your face greasy when you try to rub like greasy shit on your face. But this is beautiful because this collagen peptides, and it's there's two types in this. It's like type 1 and 3, and that's the kind of collagen that's actually in your skin. When you eat this stuff, it and you only need like about 1 scoop a day of this, really. You don't need to go crazy and have it all the time, but it makes your hair grow thicker. And when I do,
God,
like,
I need that.
my baby hairs in the front have gotten super long because they're just like all of a sudden I'm like that. And it fills in all the little lines and it makes your skin glow.
I need that because I have like.
Oh yeah.
Still, I
when
have
it
bald
gets out,
spots from chemotherapy.
From dieting, even like if I cut my calories too much,
yeah.
I have to make sure, like if you're cutting your calories, you have to supplement with like multivitamins and have some protein, like if you're exercising at all. So this stuff is a new brand. I used a different one for many years, and this is the first time I used this Orgain. I use them for my my protein shakes too. But you need just a scoop of this, and it goes either into hot or cold, which is nice because then if you do a shake, a cold shake, you can do it, or a hot thing like a soup, you could do it, or a hot beverage in the morning. It's great. You just put.
I never thought of putting it in a soup.
Yeah, you could totally put it in a soup. It's like having like.
Is there any flavor?
This has no flavor at all. This is unflavored, and so you can put in anything, all the things, and. It's good for your skin. It's good for your hair and nails.
I'm writing this down.
Yes. So collagen peptides, look for, I'll send you 2, but you want something that has type 1 and type 3. And what I like about this is it's grass fed and no GMO and all that. So Orgain is a more affordable one too. There's some really expensive ones that all the keto diet people tell you about, but those are too much money, honestly. This one is a good, not low end, but more affordable. I have another one. I'll send you the 2 that I really like, and I'll post them on Subversives.
Yeah.
But I totally think everybody who, like you have hair, you have nails, you have skin. This is good for you. You should be doing that. It'll make you look younger, longer, and fabulous. Also, like I have joint problems, so that's one of the things that helps me keep my joints kind of loose and not.
I wonder if kitties can have this.
I think they could. It's basically like comes from bone stuff. So, call it. I think they get it from like the marrow and like the connective. Yeah. So, I am almost sure that they could have it.
Because Mabel, she needs a little beauty pick me up.
Yeah.
Right.
Think of how fabulous her fur could be. I'll look it up just to make sure because I want to tell people, and then they find out like this is how you kill your cat. There's always limits. They're little creatures compared to us. What we could eat, they should probably not have in mass quantities. But protein, it's like a type of protein. It's amino acids. So do it. Huh. So just like if you're curious, I'll post it on the Sweet Subversive site too. But definitely. Collagen peptides, and that's just the tip.
So I've been eating salmon. to get ready
so
for my
good.
son's wedding, because I read that you're supposed to eat salmon like every day for like 2 weeks before an event, and then you have like amazing glowing skin. And I do have to say, just from eating the amount of salmon that I've been eating, and it's not like you have to eat a lot in a portion.
No, just some.
It really has made a difference.
I take
Like I thought it was going to be crap, but
no, I think it actually works. I also take a fish oil supplement every day, and when I stop, I notice it. You know, so I think there is something to it. I think, and also I like salmon. I like sushi.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I think a lot of it is like
I like it because I can split it with Mabel.
Yeah, and then she loves you even more because she loves fish. There's nothing wrong with that. Oops, I see comments coming through.
This week has been so shitty.
Oh, no doubt. It's a two-canner.
It's a two-canner.
So,
well, unless I want to do that pink grapefruit ginger.
You'll become a Viking.
That actually smells really amazing.
Tell me how it tastes, because I might go buy the ginger stuff for myself.
Oh, shit.
Is it good?
That's super good.
Oh, damn.
I like that even more than the cucumber.
Cool. I've had like some drinks with cucumber, like in the flavoring, that I'm like, oh, it gets gross. But ginger, I love.
So that cucumber, because cucumber can taste fake.
That's
right?
I hate fake cucumber.
That's actually a really good cucumber, and I like it. That's good. But this pink grapefruit ginger,
I'm gonna have to go pick up some of those. That sounds perfect.
Yes.
Because I'm looking for lower calorie drinks, but I can still have a drink and enjoy it. And I like it when it's like a cocktail.
You can just do like straight up hard liquor.
Well, that's very more keto, really. I mean, you do hard alcohol and then you just get a non-calorie mixer with it, and then you're good. You're golden. Part of it is I'm avoiding more sugar, and alcohol has some sugar in it. But if I can like get it so it's not hardly at all, then I think my body will be happy with it. Oh, cucumber makes for the perfect gin and tonic, says Jared, and that is true.
Jared, here's an idea for you. So here's 2 different gin and tonics that you can do. So it's social sparkling sake. Bendixson is wondering.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're looking for an alternative gin and tonic, grapefruit and thyme is amazing. So fresh grapefruit juice, and then you just crush a little, not just the little leaves, pull them on the stem because the leaves are really teeny. Just bruise them and shove them down in there. Very good gin and tonic. Another one is to use just a little bit of pineapple juice and then bruise a basil leaf and put that in there.
That sounds really good. Yummy. Like you've done this before. Jared didn't like grapefruit. If you don't like grapefruit, it's probably not going to be great for you. But I like it. I feel like
try ruby red grapefruit instead of regular grapefruit, because many people that don't like grapefruit's not their favorite flavor. They do that ruby red grapefruit, and that has a different flavor profile.
A little more orangey, instead of the
bitter.
Which I like the bitter of grapefruit, so I totally get that. But it's the ruby red kind of is like a sweet.
Yes, Jared, I can. He wants me to send him the recipe for that.
I want it now. What I want you to do is send me drinks through the screen, because I still think that would be amazing if we lived in the Star Trek times where you're like, I want what Cara's having, and then drink it.
Yep.
I would be like Jabba the Hutt, though. I would definitely never leave home.
Well, we're getting towards the end, so I do want people to start to think of what is one awesome thing that happened this week. It could be something big, it could be something small, but just something that happened in your life this week that was really good. And, then we can all share and we can be happy for one another and end on a happy note instead of Heather and I hanging ourselves and crying.
I'm not going to ever hang myself and cry. I might just go cry and drink, though. So, it's a hard week.
Exactly.
I got new shoes.
Oh,
2
I'm
pairs.
excited about this.
This is also my second just a tip. It's not Rothy's. They look like Rothy's,
They
and I found them
do.
here on Amazon. I bought these 2 pairs, and they're like comfy, like bedroom slippers. And I just got them, and I might wear one of these to the wedding. I'm not sure, but or might get another one because I like them so much. But they, Rothy's are super expensive, like
Yes, they are.
$125 shoes.
Yes.
These are more like $35 shoes. So I'm like, I love them. So that is my awesome thing this week is bargain hunting and actually getting something that I liked. So shoes is my awesome thing this week. Oh, and
I
I
can
see Jared.
definitely understand that.
I'm gonna saw my sister for the first
Oh,
time. Oh, it's great to see her and family. Good.
yeah.
I'm glad
It
you
is
guys
good to see family. Absolutely. Not always under the best circumstances, but still just to be able to see your family. That's a big thing. Oh,
and you didn't
yeah.
miss the flights. Oh my God. I know,
Telling you.
like, it's not been a good time for airplanes. Let's just say that.
No, no. So
Ah,
my awesome thing was boondock camping for the first time.
that was awesome.
That was that was that was so beautiful. And I was very nervous to do it. I was trying to pretend I wasn't nervous, but I was very nervous to do it
Yeah.
because like you're going to an area where there's no electricity, there's no water, there's no bathroom, no anything. Yeah. And how is the pooper? Oh, so and here's the other thing. So um here's
Last
from
week we saw it.
here's from a TMI, y'all.
Yeah.
Um so I have issues still from having like most of my intestine removed and all the
Surgery.
chemotherapy and all that kind of stuff. And so like I'm always very concerned about bathrooms. Like
Yeah.
where's like the first thing I do is find out like where's the bathroom? Can I get to the bathroom quickly? All that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Because sometimes I have like 3 seconds notice between I think I have to well, there we go. And that's not fun. And
No.
so like that added an extreme level of stress to this. And then when I got there, I was also concerned because there was quite a few people camped out there. So there's not like you also don't have privacy and there's not trees in the Badlands. Not
Yeah,
for
and you were on
like
a bluff.
you
For,
can see everything.
that might
Right.
not be the best for trying to poop in privacy.
Right. And so, luckily, the ladies on a particular site did not steer me wrong. The men were all like, just dig a hole. And I'm like, number one, that sounds like a bad idea. And number two, that sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah.
And the women were all like, okay, here's what you do. You get a like a little bucket and you put a trash can liner in there and you put the cat litter in there and you do all that kind of stuff. Trust me, Jared, there's no choice in this. It's not about can I or not, or
You just
there's no
have to
choice.
poop eventually.
Yeah.
You're just like, I just doing it
I
now.
I have like exactly 3 seconds. This is like,
yeah,
it's
with you
just going to happen.
it's like right
So,
now.
right.
Let's do it.
And so I got there and because it was so hot and you're drinking so much water, it was, I got to
Goes right
use
through.
my bucket method 8 times that night. Fortunately, I had a tarp on the side of my car, so I kind of made this little privacy area.
Good.
But it actually worked really well. And you know what? I would poop in a bucket again and again and again just to be able to camp out there. Like I
Yeah.
want to get back there so bad because it was just gorgeous. And the other campers who are there are also people who are like they understood the beauty of the place they were at. They weren't there to party and get drunk and be rowdy or, all that kind of stuff or just be jerks. And as the sun started to go down, everyone knew to just sit down and shut up and enjoy it.
Exactly. I love it.
Just sit there and look at how beautiful it was. And that's what we all did.
That's
And that was
awesome.
so gorgeous. And then in the morning, I had the windows kind of blacked out, but I could see out the hatch right towards my feet. And
Yeah.
as the sun started to come up, I was able to watch the sunrise and just paint the Badlands these incredible colors.
Oh, Cara, that's amazing.
And all I could think of was, how can I justify blowing up Freedom Fest and not showing up and
Stay
speaking
here.
on my panel
Oh
so that I can
no.
stay? Because
I
even though it was
know.
100 degrees, and I'm not into the heat,
No, I'm not into the heat. Yeah.
and there is no shade, and I'm pooping in a bucket, I never wanted to leave.
Oh, I believe it. It's so beautiful there. It's something
It was
unspeakably gorgeous.
gorgeous. Yeah.
I love that. I'm so glad that worked out. Were you okay with sleeping? That was the one thing I never did ask you before. It was a
So
little
I
hard.
didn't get much sleep with the using the bucket all night.
Yeah, I was kind of like, is that the reason? Or do you think if you hadn't been poopy, you would have been okay?
I would have been a lot better. Plus, I was just a little nervous about, because that was the first time I'd ever kind of slept in my car with the hatch open, and I had mosquito netting, which there really aren't any bugs, so I don't know why I was
Yeah.
worried about that. But it was just unfamiliar. You know what I mean?
So nervous
Um,
energy.
yeah,
I
yeah.
get it. I'm worst case scenario person. So I've been like, there's gonna be some dude that's gonna lick my feet in the middle of the night. And
You got to pay extra for that, honey.
yes, dude, not for free, baby.
Yeah. I'm not just gonna give that out.
No, no, that's our OnlyFans. So you need to register, not for free.
Right.
There's you don't give things for free. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would have been me. But oh, I'm so glad that you got to experience the beauty of that. That sounds like it was a really neat trip.
Yeah, it was. It was. And oh yeah, so are you watching this, Heather? So Ben Nixon's talking about there's going to be a super huge storm warning.
No.
Hopefully we'll be spared. Yeah, I mean they're talking about like derecho winds. Yeah.
What is derecho winds?
So do you remember in Iowa where like pretty much almost the entire state got flattened because it's like a tornado rolling, winds going through, but they're straight line winds.
So that's tonight?
Yeah.
What the hell? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I have not been paying attention to the weather. It like rained a little bit this morning. I'm like, "Oh, that was okay."
We needed
Oh my,
more.
we totally need more. I think my like it started sprinkling and the trees are like, "More, please."
So I've noticed that the oaks are dropping the acorns, and the acorns are only partially formed. They're not fully formed.
Yeah.
But
Like
our trees are cutting their losses and they're just dropping the acorns. They're giving up.
yeah, because they know that there's not enough nutrients, not enough water, that they just want to survive. And, oh God. Oh, it's good. It takes 12 hours to go from Chicago to New York City. Oh my God.
Yeah, those types of winds. Yeah.
I don't want that. If we can we skip that? I think this week is shitty enough. So
That's what I'm hoping.
we can skip this whole psycho win thing.
Exactly.
I've had enough. Well, we're over time, Cara.
We are over time, and I know I've gotten requests for, although it's not needlepoint, and this is something that Heather got me when they took out all my girl parts. And then another friend of mine, because people know me and love me, got me this, and it says, love, laugh, live, but it says eat, shit, die.
I like that better. That is awesome. So yeah,
that actually is needlepoint.
that is needlepoint. So I love that. And so if you're all crafty and shit, send Cara funny shit like that, because she likes it. I'm not crafty and shit, so I'm like, can somebody make me this? This is awesome. But I want to say thank you. Speaking of our fabulous supporters,
Yes,
thank
absolutely.
you to our wonderful Patreon hosts. We love you guys very much. And here, oops, I'm going to take down that banner for a second. Nope, wrong one. There we go. Thank you, Michael, Travis, and David. We love you guys. Thank you for supporting us through all of that. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And if you too want to support us, you can go to our Patreon page. It's on our Sweet Subversives.
Yeah, because I mean, this liquor doesn't by itself.
No, you want us to be funny. We need some booze. Right? Or just show your support. That'd be okay too. So not totally helping us become minor alcoholics. Just little baby ones. So have a great week. We will see you next Wednesday on Hump Day. And take care. We love you guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah.